he's talking. Yeah.
I don't think with that.
I say I'm looking at it.
There's nerve power.
Voice memos. Yeah. I also have no idea why a calculator was in that screen. This is better.
Yeah, the customized controls is so easy.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
That's okay. Record it on your screen.
So this will be 1 minute.
I have a lot of questions.
Do you want the chair?
No.
You can switch. I'll just switch. Okay. It'll be good. It'll be so good.
What about the
I want to see if I can take
still
a photo.
photography day at the White House?
Right? Just like take your pics.
Is someone speaking of it?
That was a good briefing.
There was actually news out of that.
Amazing. There was a little boy in the back. The kids' birthday day? Oh, yeah, Dino's kid was.
Iron fence right outside the green doors here. Hey, do you want to run out back with me at 2:50 and Bob? Yeah, that's what it's doing.
Right, so you just speculate.
The sound here's hanging out. We come down. Oh, no. Okay.
He's here for the, he said he was here for the first lady of Montreal. Don't shoot the message.
So, just me.
Yeah,
Jim Sutton will let out back.
sweaty.
Yeah, I'll spare it.
Where did you saw it?
Yeah. And
Sherry was looking for moose and squirrel.
yeah. You're too young.
Moose and squirrel.
Oh, you kidding me? Rocky Bullwinkle, Rocky Records lost on younger generations. Those are classic cartoons.
Go on cartoon. It's not that one, but go on cartoon.
Watching again, that was
Have you ever heard of amazing story where
So Jim will
it is a spectacular story. No, I was not eating. He gets Peter. He looks at me and he walks back to the mic and he starts talking.
Now that's funny. About moose and squirrel. No, that doesn't.
It was like the last ditch, you know. Yes.
Now, what would we do for an hour?
Oh my gosh, exactly.
It is.
Just back then, just a piece of my suit. Now I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
He's got his number. Mark. What was his name? Mark.
Look at
What are you guys watching? It's like with the files are lost. I am dating this summer.
They'll never know what backs out.
But it's not the reason about it. It's the Sarah Sanders. Regular schedule. None of it is regular schedule. Yeah, I think so. Leon has joined the seated nation.
No one's here. I can wreck myself.
There you go.
Well,
Thanks, Don. Yeah. That's the question she's trying to. Big news. Big news.
Did you read the story?
Well played.
Which is the secretary at Walmart for 60 years. Massive fortunes. She will donate like $8 million to scholarships. Press briefings for 1,000 hours. So there's storage of baby. Does the daily double down? What do you think would happen if she worked out?
should start on time. That would be the well placed. Larry David.
That's how we feel right now.
Yeah.
This is all of us sitting here. Go back there, BK.
Yeah, 2 minutes from it.
There you go.
Somebody using a flash on their camera?
Can't use flashes in here. We have light in here.
Say again?
Red light, don't use
Flashes
flash.
in here.
Who's got flashes?
Somebody don't light in the camera.
There's obviously not enough light.
Somebody's using a flash, really? Not good. Not good.
TV, man.
Yeah, exactly.
30 minutes on last city. No, they're still holed up prepping. And Janet says she still plans to brief, and I should get out there so she could come.
Oh, there you go.
But no time.
There you go.
So I encouraged her to make haste, as we're all anxiously awaiting.
We got a
And we miss her, and
Yeah.
love to see her soon.
Nice.
Are you breathing today, Brown?
John gives you 2 questions.
Yeah.
But you gotta use perspicacious. Always love to see their face.
Thanks, BK.
There we go.
Good afternoon. With labor participation, wages, and job growth all on the rise, we are seeing firsthand how President Trump's economic policies are benefiting American workers. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.9%, the lowest level since the year 2000. The unemployment rate for adult women is at 3.5%, and African American unemployment rate is at 6.6%, the lowest ever recorded, and the unemployment rate for Hispanics tied a series low. Since the president's election, more than 3 million jobs have been created. The president's historic tax cuts, deregulation, and pro-growth policies are creating jobs and restoring confidence in America's economy. On another important matter, the White House has been in close contact with state and local officials in Hawaii since the initial earthquake and volcanic eruption. The president continues to monitor the ongoing situation. FEMA and the White House encourage all individuals in potentially affected areas to monitor local radio or TV stations for updated emergency information and follow the instructions of state and local officials. The New York Post said today that CIA Acting Director Gina Haspel has headed 4 CIA stations across the globe, been a senior official in the CIA's Russia operation, held several top roles in the division responsible for covert operations, and post 9/11 was a senior level supervisor in counterterrorism. The Post further noted that her integrity and significantly her political impartiality are unchallenged. She deserves quick confirmation without partisan theatrics. The bottom line, Acting Director Haspel has an unparalleled understanding of the CIA and is the right person to lead it during these dangerous times. Lastly, and on a slightly lighter note, I would like to congratulate Catherine and Alex, 2 members of the White House Press Corps, on their engagement over the weekend. So congratulations. And with that, I don't know if they even showed up today, but that's okay. Definitely would have given them a question, but since I don't see them, Kevin, we'll go with you.
Thank you, Sarah. A couple questions. First on Gina Haspel, is it true the president and yourself and others had to sort of convince her not to withdraw her name from consideration? And if so, what was that like? And has this circumstance happened before since you've been at your position here at the White House? And a follow about Don Blankenship. Why does the president believe he can't win an election in the state of West
Let me
Virginia?
answer the first question, we'll come back to that. In regards to Acting Director Haspel, her commitment to the agency is one of the reasons that she is the right person to lead it. She wants to do everything she can to make sure the integrity of the CIA remains intact, isn't unnecessarily attacked, and if she felt that her nomination would have been a problem for that and for the agency, then she wanted to do everything she could to protect the agency. At the same time, she wants to do everything she can to protect the safety and security of Americans, which is why she is 100% committed to going through this confirmation process and being confirmed as the next leader of the CIA.
And the follow was on
Sorry.
Blankenship in West Virginia. Why does the president believe that he can't win an election in the state of West Virginia? Why not?
As you all know, I have a few more limitations than the president, and due to the Hatch Act, can't get into the specifics about an election prior to it taking place. But I'd refer you back to the president's tweet, which I think is pretty clear. And if he has more to say on it, he certainly will.
Thanks, Sarah. We also congratulate Alex and Catherine.
Rudy Giuliani said that if necessary, it's possible that Michael Cohen could have paid off other women to keep them quiet about alleged affairs with the president. Is that possible? Are there other women out there who receive money from the president to stay quiet?
I'm not aware of any other activity, but I would refer you to Rudy Giuliani to respond to any of those questions, or anybody else on the president's outside counsel.
But you've been in his circle for a long time now. You were on the campaign. Is that anything that came across your desk?
Again, I'm not aware of anything like that, but I would refer you to the president's outside counsel. Steve?
The president's got a May 12th deadline on the Iran nuclear deal. Is he wavering on this deal based on the pressure from the Europeans with Boris Johnson here this week?
The president will make an announcement on what his decision is soon. As you know, he's got a few days to do that, and we'll let you know when he's ready to make a decision on it.
John Kerry's shadow diplomacy, how does that impact the deliberations?
I don't think it impacts it at all. I think the president spoke out about that pretty clearly, and I don't think that we would take advice from somebody who created what the president sees to be one of the worst deals ever made. I'm not sure why we would start listening to him now. John?
Thank you, Sarah. Back to Gina Haspel. Her confirmation hearing is on Wednesday. It's an open hearing before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Are there any questions that are off limits from the White House's point of view as it relates to her career at the CIA?
We think that Acting Director Haspel is a highly qualified, uniquely positioned individual to lead the CIA, and we're very confident in her ability to answer the questions that we know are going to come. And if you don't believe me, listen to some of the quotes from a lot of other people that have been very outspoken in her support, in their support for her. Former Director Leon Panetta said, "I'm glad it's Gina because frankly, she is someone who really knows the CIA inside and out." Former Director Michael Hayden said Haspel is the absolute best choice to be director. Former Acting Director and Deputy Director Michael Morrell said she is capable, she has integrity, she cares deeply about the mission of the agency, and she cares deeply about the men and women of the agency. And lastly, former Acting Director and Deputy Director John McLaughlin said, "If you were picking a professional officer to head the agency, I can't think of a better person than Gina." We want her to get a fair hearing, a thorough hearing, and we're very confident that not only will all of the members of the Senate see what the rest of us see, and certainly even some of the people that have held that position see, but that Gina is more than qualified to run and lead the agency.
So Sarah, if she's asked any questions regarding enhanced interrogation techniques that took place during her tenure at the CIA that Democrats say that she was involved with, she can answer them fully in an open hearing. Is that your position?
I'll let her address those questions as they come, but as we've said, we think all of the issues surrounding her record, her experience will be brought up, and we're fully confident in her ability to answer those questions. Steve?
Yes, Sarah. President Putin in Moscow was inaugurated today for a new 6-year term. over the weekend throughout Russia, we saw police arresting, it's estimated, about 1,600 anti-Putin demonstrators, including organizer and anti-corruption campaigner Alexei Navalny. We've seen the president tweet about other Russia matters today, but not about either of these things. What message does the president have for the Kremlin and the Russian people about these events?
First, the president congratulates him and looks forward to a time when we can hopefully have a good relationship with Russia. However, the United States believes that everyone has a right to be heard and assemble peacefully. Blake.
Sarah, thank you. The president has said in the past that the Russia investigation is an excuse for Democrats losing the 2016 election, but today he appeared to look forward to the 2018 midterms. He tweeted out, quote, "Is this phony witch hunt going to go on even longer so it wrongfully impacts the midterm elections, which is what the Democrats always intended," and he ended that with a question mark. Does the president now believe that the Russia investigation actually has to do with the 2018 midterms as well?
I think he thinks that the idea that this narrative continues to be driven, the fact that a year and a half later, after spending most all of your time every single day looking into this and still finding nothing, the fact that we're still talking about it will and has the potential to impact the 2018 election. I think the point he's making is how ridiculous it is that we're still having this conversation and the depths to which this research has gone on and investigation has been conducted and still produced nothing.
Is the president pleased with the appearances of Rudy Giuliani over the last few days?
I didn't speak with him specifically about his feelings about it, but certainly feels that he's an added value member to his outside special counsel. Francesca.
Thank you, Sarah. On that note, Rudy Giuliani said yesterday that the president could plead the fifth if he's subpoenaed by the special counsel. And I want to know why the president would even go that route if he hasn't done anything wrong, as he said repeatedly that there was no collusion and there was no obstruction of justice.
That's a question you'd have to ask the outside special counsel. I'm not an attorney, certainly couldn't address that.
Okay,
Jim?
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep moving just because we're going to get real tight on time here. Jim?
In the same vein, does the president believe it is within his executive powers to reject a subpoena from the special counsel's office?
That's a question that I would refer you to special
Can I
counsel.
follow up on Gina Haspel?
I'm going to just keep moving because I did it to your colleague. David?
The president, this time around on Iran, Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, and you've got John Bolton, new National Security Advisor. They've been among the most prominent critics of the Iran deal. I mean, is there any reason to think President Trump won't kill the deal when Saturday rolls around?
The president will make that announcement very soon. We'll certainly keep you all posted on it as it happens. Michael?
On the EPA, Andrew Wheeler is now confirmed as the second in command of the EPA. Does the president think that he would be able to continue the deregulatory agenda that Mr. Pruitt has been in charge of, were he to remove Mr. Pruitt? And given the sort of cascade of ethical problems, how close is, what's the status of the review that you guys have been saying that you're doing, and is the president closer to removing Mr. Pruitt from office?
I don't have any personnel announcements on that front. Certainly, we have confidence in the number two. Otherwise, the president wouldn't have asked him to serve at such a senior level position within the EPA. But I don't have anything further on that front. Justin?
I wanted to catch back up with on China after the delegation came back. Presuming that the president's had some sort of briefing on that interaction now, can you tell us his reaction to the talks that happened, if the U.S. plans to talk to China again before the May 22 public comment deadline, and what the sort of next steps are?
Sure. The president had a briefing this morning with members of the team that traveled. The president has a great relationship with President Xi, and we are working on something that we think will be great for everybody. China's top economic advisor, the vice premier, will be coming here next week to continue the discussions with the president's economic team, and we'll keep you posted as those discussions are ongoing. Stephen.
Sarah, in its front page story this morning, the Washington Post, among many things, reported that there are persistent rumors that Mrs. Trump does not live in this White House and that she lives with her parents somewhere in the suburbs. What do you make of those rumors?
I make of the fact that just when you think the Washington Post can't get things any more wrong, they do, and that is an outrageous and ridiculous claim. The First Lady lives here at the White House. We see her regularly, and I think that's a something that belongs in tabloid gossip, not on the front pages of the Washington Post, and I hope that they'll do better next time. Peter?
Sarah, we're going to hear from the First Lady in a moment. She's going to promote, among other things, good behavior among children. Part of this effort has to do with cyberbullying right now. Does the President accept any responsibility for American skepticism that the First Lady from the White House would be speaking out against cyberbullying?
Look, this is something that is extremely important to the First Lady. I'm not going to get ahead of her announcement or her comments. In fact, I'm only going to take one last question because we got to make sure that we get there so nobody misses that. And the President will also be joining the First Lady at that event, and so we want to make sure everybody has a chance to tune in. Aisha will take your question last.
To be clear, the question was about him, not about her. I know that we'll wait to hear what she says, but does he accept responsibility for this climate that exists right now, that there is the need to sort of address an issue like cyberbullying?
I think the idea that you're trying to blame cyberbullying on the President is kind of ridiculous when it comes to kids. This is something that has been problematic and something that we have seen over the last decade, and the First Lady sees it to be an important issue and something that she wants to address, and she'll do that here shortly. Aisha.
Thanks, Sarah. There have been some reports that an Israeli intelligence firm was hired to kind of dig up dirt on former Obama administration officials regarding the Iran nuclear deal. Does the White House have any knowledge of that, or the idea that any Trump aides were involved in hiring this intelligence firm?
I'm not aware of anything on that front. If something comes up, we'll let you guys know. Thanks so much. We hope you'll join us here in the Rose Garden with the First Lady and the President rolling out her initiatives. Thanks, guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tara Broderick, and I'm here at RSBN. I'm so excited because, as you all know, this is my very first broadcast with you all. And before we get started talking about the press briefing, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for such a warm welcome. I know we all love Steve. I love Steve. Steve has moved on to other things, but I'm here. And with that being said, I want to say that if you have any questions or comments or suggestions or anything for me, please feel free to send them to me to my Twitter. It's at Tara, T-E-R-A, RSBN, or you can send them to taranews@rsbn.tv. I'm super excited to get started here. I do have the chat pulled up, so if you have any questions about the press briefing or anything like that, please send those on. We're going to go ahead and get started. Now, she talked about how the employment rate is the lowest it's ever been. It's dropped down to 3.9%, and along with that, there have been 3 million jobs created. That is absolutely amazing. There's so many welcomes coming up in the chat right now. This is awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm seriously so excited to be here. Thank you so much. Yes, I do have a Southern accent. And also, with this being said, we are having today like a little question and answer broadcast with me. It'll be at 3 p.m. Central or 4 p.m. Eastern time. You can ask me any questions you have, and I would be glad to get those answered for you. Let's see. Just reading the comments here. So one of the main things that was touched on a lot today during the press briefing, I know it was very short, they were obviously running behind, was Gina Haspel. I want to hear y'all's opinion. Oh, we got a donation from Lion Lovesy. Welcome to RSBN, Tara. Thank you so much. Now, so back to Gina Haspel. Do y'all think that she should be the next head of CIA? I want to read your comments on this. Because so the whole, talked a lot about this yesterday with Joe. The whole thing on Gina Haspel is some people believe that she should be head of the CIA because she is so tough and because she has 30 plus years experience, or some people believe that she shouldn't because she was involved in the interrogations. Now, they said here today, I was taking some notes on it, she will have a Senate hearing this Wednesday. And they asked her if they were allowed to address questions on her involvement with the interrogation. That would be definitely interesting. I know Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that she would leave that up to Gina Haspel whether she answered any of those questions or not. I definitely hope she does. I want to hear more about it. Yesterday I was trying to find more about her involvement with the interrogations, and of course all that is kept secret. I couldn't find anything on it. Let's see, I'm reading your comments now. Thank you so much, y'all. Everyone is being so nice. And yes, I am a little nervous for those of you pointing it out. We got a donation from Ray Bevins. Thank you. He said you were doing just fine. Just relax. You're amongst friends here. Welcome to the team. Thank you so much, Ray Bevins. That means a lot. So we're just going to keep going through things that she talked about today. Rudy Giuliani was brought up, of course. A question was asked, are there other women? Do they think there were other women who were paid? And she pretty much shot that question down pretty quick and said that she would refer them to attorneys to talk to. Let's see. Also, questions was brought up on the Iran nuclear deal. You know, if Trump has a deadline to decide whether or not to close out on that, and all she said was he had a few days to make the decision, and she continued on to the next question. I feel like all these questions that were asked today, she moved on very quickly because they were short on time. And then shortly after, another question about Rudy Giuliani was asked, and she completely skipped it and said we are going to move on. And I also found it was very interesting that the China economic advisor will be coming to the U.S. soon. She didn't announce a date for that. And also something I wanted to hear today, I know that they're going to be meeting with President Trump's going to be meeting with Kim Jong-un soon, but we don't know exactly where. I know I read that the date was going to be on May 22nd, but I wonder when they're going to release the location for that. Very interested to see that. Got another donation from Mr. Nick Town. Said, let's get important questions over with. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or fight 100 duck-sized horses? I don't know. We'll save that question for later. For those of you that are just joining, I am having a Q&A thing later on today about 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern time. So prepare your questions. Prepare your questions for me then. We got another donation from Pete. Thank you, Pete. Yes, I am from Alabama. So I feel like today, with the press briefing, even though it was kept very short, the main topic that was brought up was Gina Haspel. Seriously, I want to hear your opinions on this. Do you think, I don't have the chat pulled up right now, that's why I keep looking off screen. Do you think she should be head of the CIA? Do you think she should? Let's see, I think I might have missed a donation. I feel like my audio, they were saying my audio is not working. I think it is working. Let me text Joe and just double check on that. So we're getting some comments here. Dire Maker says, I have no problem with waterboarding someone who is a known terrorist. Yeah, so that was a lot of people's problem with Gina Haspel being nominated for this position. Is some are saying that she had the waterboarding. And y'all, I'm so sorry, I just got a notification from Joe that said no one's able to message me on Twitter. Okay, let me see if I can get this fixed so y'all can send me messages on Twitter. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I did get a tweet from, let's see, @CallBannister. It says, Gina Haspel has strong experience at the CIA. She is prepared for the job, and President Trump nominated her. That's all I need to know. I'm not concerned in the least over tough interrogations of terrorists. By the way, you're doing a great job. Good luck. Thank you so much. That seriously means a lot. So he said that he doesn't care because President Trump nominated her and he's trusting in President Trump. And I do want to say thank you to y'all for being so gracious with me. This is my very first live broadcast. I know a lot of you saw me at the rally, and that is definitely different. I didn't realize how stressful it was going to be when the camera's right in front of you, but I'm excited to be here, and I promise I will get better with time. I'm just a little bit nervous, but these comments are helping a ton. Y'all are being so nice. So I do have my Twitter open. My Twitter, for people asking, it is @Tara, TERARSBN. Brian Green said in the chat, we need someone who does what it takes to get info from terrorists. Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, she has over 30 plus years experience with the CIA. She is a very tough woman. Let's see if I got any more. Barbara J. Brawley said, I believe that Gina should be approved immediately, highly qualified. Let's see if we can pull up some stuff about Gina on Twitter just to see what people are saying, because I know that is something that Sarah Sanders was mentioning today. She was reading tweets from a lot of different people about how they feel she is qualified. Let's pull up. I know last night when I was typing in, doing some research on Gina Haspel, all I had to do was go to Google and type in her name, and it immediately pulled up all different viewpoints and tweets from her. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up Twitter and see what we can find. Donation from Tom O'Neill. He said the White House, very fake news. Press corps, a bunch of bullies. Welcome Tara to the fam. Great job. RSBN rocks. Thank you, Tom O'Neill. So I'm going to show you some tweets that I've found here. Donation from Tom. Now this one is from Donald Trump. Says, my highly respected nominee for CIA Director Gina Haspel has come under fire because she was too tough on terrorists. Think of that. In these very dangerous times, we have the most qualified person, a woman who Democrats want out because she's too tough on terror. Win Gina. Another one. I feel like a lot of people are definitely supporting Gina in this. It says, let's say our child is being held captive by terrorists. They've threatened to behead him. The CIA has captured one of the terrorists. He knows where your child is. Who do you want leading the interrogation? A bleeding heart liberal or Gina Haspel? Be honest, it's your child. That is a definitely good way to look at it. But I was reading tweets earlier that were saying, you know, if Gina, she first backed out, she's only willing to do it now once the White House officials visited her in Virginia after she withdrew her nomination. So they're saying if she doesn't want to do it fully, then why should she still be nominated? He knows where your child is. Who do you want leading the interrogation? A bleeding heart liberal or Gina Haspel? Be honest, it's your child. That is a definitely good way to look at it. But I was reading tweets earlier that were saying, you know, if Gina, she first backed out. Okay, I'm getting a message that the audio is off. Let me see if I can fix it just really quick. Bear with me. Virginia after she withdrew her nomination. So they're saying if she doesn't want to do it fully, then why should she still be nominated? He knows where your child is. Who do you want leading the interrogation? A bleeding heart liberal or okay, maybe that fixed it. Sorry everyone. As you can tell, it is my first day, and for those of you that are just joining us, I want to say thank you, and obviously thank you for being so gracious as I'm learning. We did a lot of training for this, like trained, and you obviously cannot train for when you're actually live and situations happen. Like I just now pulled up a video and it's playing in the background while I was talking. But we got it fixed, so please, please, please bear with me. And I love how everyone in the chat is being so nice. Thank you so much. Y'all are being awesome in this chat. Do want to say thank you so much to all our moderators. I know I'm definitely going to get to know all of you as I continue to do this, but our moderators keep the chat room clean and safe and happy for everyone. So thank you so much to all the moderators. And also, if you would like to donate, if you're in the YouTube chat, please go down to the bottom where you see the little $sign. You can donate there, but keep in mind that YouTube takes 30% of our donations that you donate in the YouTube chat. Also, if you want to donate fully, you can go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, and we will get about all of that. Thank you. People are saying, do y'all remember Steve's first time? I should have gone back and watched Steve's first broadcast. Maybe it would have made me feel a little bit better. And I do want to say I spent, I guess it was a couple weekends ago at the rally in Michigan with Steve, and I drilled him with questions the entire time trying to get more comfortable with this, and he helped me so much. So Steve, if you're watching this, thank you so much for all your help. Let me pull back up my Twitter. People are saying that you can't see my comments, and it may be because I have my Twitter set on a different setting where you can't comment or anything. That is something I'm going to get fixed immediately. We have a donation from Pete. Thank you, Pete. And John Miller sent me another message. He said, I'll remind you of my super chat question since you couldn't decide on the spot. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or fight 100 duck-sized horses? Tell you what, John Miller, save that question. We're going to do a Q&A at 3 p.m. Central. Save that question for then, and I swear I will answer it. I'm reading the chat now, seeing if there's any questions that you have. All I'm seeing is nothing but positivity and encouragement, and I really appreciate it. It means so much. People are asking what kind of, we have a question from Summer Sunrise, says, Tara, what kind of Q&A question topics? Anything that you want to know from me personally to help you get to know me better. I know that when Steve was here with y'all, he became a part of your family, and y'all saw him every day covering topics. I'm going to be doing the same thing, so I want y'all to be comfortable with me and know any and everything about me that you want to know. Thank you, Liz Willis. She just said, I could barely talk my first broadcast. You're doing amazing. Thank you, Liz. That was so sweet of you. I do have my Twitter open. And Joe just messaged me and said, the sound will be fixed. I know y'all can hear my air conditioning and everything. This was the very first time, so we didn't know how it was going to go, that we're going live. But that will be fixed, I promise. We have a donation from Andreas Von T. Thank you so much. The next Trump rally, that is a great question from Jason Thornton. It will actually be this Thursday in Indiana. We will be at that, so please tune in to watch. And yes, everyone, this was originally for the White House press briefing. I went through everything I feel that she touched on. I don't feel like anyone had any questions or any comments about it. I have my Twitter open and I have the chat open. It was a very short briefing. And also the rally on Thursday was originally being held in South Bend, Indiana, but I believe it's been moved to, I think Elkhart, that is what it is. So also, thank you. I just want to say thank you, a sincere thank you to everyone for bearing with me. I know this has been probably one of the roughest press briefings ever given, but thank you so much. Thank you to our chat moderators, and remember to tune in at 3 Central and 4 Eastern. Maybe I will be more comfortable and not as nervous for all these questions and answers, but just bear with me, and I thank you so much for all of you watching, and from all of us here at RSBN, I hope you have a great afternoon.